I'm Timeform's flat racing editor, David Johnson. I've been working on the Timeform tipping products for over 10 years, including the jury and TV focus, where we use the race passes to help us find, hopefully, some compelling bets. And this video is aimed to help you do exactly the same. Well, Timeform ratings are a great place to start because they are a numerical representation of each horse's best form, or in some instances, the best form that we think, or our handicappers think, that they can run up to at present. If you just click the TFR button on the right-hand side of the screen of race passes, you'll be able to rank them in order, and displaying them in ratings order just allows us to start filtering through the horses that we think have the best chance at the weights and the ones that look either badly handicapped or aren't good enough in this kind of grade. Now, there is one caveat to this, because ratings tell you what a horse has done, not necessarily what it will do. So always be aware of horses that are open to considerable improvement. Well, there'll often be quite a strong correlation between ratings order and price. So what we want to do is look out for the instances where they differ and try to understand why that is. Is the market over or underestimating a certain horse? Now, the areas where there is a discrepancy, they are the ones that are most likely to throw up a betting opportunity. Well, what should you be looking for when you're trying to find a good bet? I think you're trying to identify horses that are priced on reputation or stable rather than their form, really. Horses that already have the improvement factored into their odds. For example, the William Haggas stable at the moment, no one is training better, but so often their horses, particularly in these valuable handicaps, are right towards the head of the betting and are quite difficult to make money out of. So if you want to look into trainers more closely, take a look at the trainer dashboards or the statistics hub, also available on the Race Passes site. There's lots of tools in Race Passes that can help you to make these decisions. Probably the key ones are the flags. We have a horse in focus flag, and the idea behind that is to point you in the direction of a horse who on his most recent run was particularly eye-catching, whether he was really unlucky or was really impressive. Basically, it's a horse that is at the top of its game and is going to be very interesting. We've got the sectionals flag, which looks at the time analysis of the horse's most recent performance, in which it either finished really quickly or really slowly compared to the par. Basically, what that means is that had the horse been able to race more efficiently, he would have been able to have gone closer to winning or won by even further. We also have the warning horse flag, and that's more of a negative slant. The warning horse is there to tell us about horses that were seen to good effect under these conditions one day. They might be a little bit flattered. They're not necessarily going to reproduce it next time, so they're probably one to take on. Recency bias in a horse racing market is where too much credence is given to a horse's most recent performance as opposed to judging it on its overall profile. Recent winners who are at the head of the market might not necessarily make the best bets next time. There are several other biases to be aware of as well. Certain factors that end up getting overplayed. And we can often see out-of-form horses who go off much shorter than what they should, simply because the perception is that the ground has come in their favour. So what we want to be doing is looking to promote strong and solid form where lesser recent efforts can be excused or ignored, and all this information can be found from the Timeform analysis in the Race Passes product. With Race Passes, you have access to every horse's individual performance and rating. Races are regularly won by horses aren't necessarily the best. So one thing that you can try and do is to unpick a race and see which horses are going to be suited by the way that it's likely to pan out, and see which horses are going to be at a disadvantage. Timeform's pace maps are a great tool for helping you to understand how a race is likely to pan out. We produce what are known as EPFs, they're early position figures, and give each horse a number between 1 and 5. 1 is for a horse that's making the running, 5 is for those that are held up out the back, and obviously a 2, 3 and 4 for those somewhere in between. Once you put all that data into the pace map, you can soon work out how a race is likely to pan out in the early stages. Once you've looked at the pace map and understood how you think the race is likely to pan out, you're looking for those horses that are going to either be advantaged by the run of the race or those that are going to be disadvantaged by the run of the race. How the race pans out is going to have a huge effect on how likely a horse is to run to its Timeform rating. You're going to get instances where a horse that may have something to find on form but is a front runner or a prominent racer and will get the run of the race, and that will allow it to outperform its pre-race expectation. The odds will always determine what makes a good bet. Long-term profit is only going to be achieved by backing overpriced horses. Be prepared to be patient. Never consider a good hour or so of form study where you don't manage to come up with a bet as time wasted. All that information is sure to stand you in good stead further down the line. There's several ways you can do this. One thing that we do is we practice our own tissues. So when we're compiling for TV Focus, we're looking at the race and we'll come up with our own set of prices for that race in the first instance, and then we'll compare it to what price is available in the market, and where there's a differential, they're the kind of horses that we're going to be looking to back. Well, pricing a race up from scratch is a difficult thing to do. So rather than worry about assigning each horse an individual price, one thing that you can do is just try and sort them into an order of preference, and obviously try and rank them in order of how much you fancy them. For more information on how to bet smarter or on race passes, head to timeform.com.